Here we go.
You found the only geek culture showcast. This is the Geek Speak Show. The Geek Speak Show talks about and to the movers and shakers in geek culture.
God bless the geek.
The Geek Speak Show is powered by GeekTyrant.com, Collider.com, RamaScreen.com, and Mightyville.com. Get ready to speak geek on the Geek Speak Show with your host, Henry. And Arielle and Rachel. Hey, ladies.
Hey, Henry.
Hello.
How are you guys doing?
Fantastic.
I don't know why it felt like a really long week. Like I haven't seen you in months.
What? No, it's just been a super full week full of fun and exciting announcements, at least for me.
And we have some more. First, let's tell everybody two things. One, on our YouTube page, Geek Speak Videos, go on there. The pilot is up there. You can watch it from Flying Colors Comics and other cool stuff. The other cool stuff that day was us filming the video show. Do a one-on-one with Joe. You, Louise, and Rachel, you guys were talking to the people, the staff, and people there in line. You two actually got into the Comic Slam.
It's true. I did embarrass myself very much so doing the Comic Slam. Louise and I did a duet.
Now, actually, I was talking to people, some people that at the pizza place that I go to, my regular place over there, and they were saying that they liked both of you because you're the only one, I think, well, besides the one that had the little baby, but you were the only ones that were a two-man or two-woman in this case thing, and they liked that.
No, it worked as dialogue. I really liked opening it up that way. That was totally planned and in no way because the one that I had chosen to do by myself had all sorts of curse words for a not family-friendly atmosphere.
And she was going to do it until she looked down and saw those 3-year-old kids right in front of her.
It's true. They were standing and looking up at me with
eyes
like really
wide
big eyes, and they were just like taking in everything. And I'm like, I don't want to be responsible for ruining you. So, finding a new scene immediately. New scene. Hey, Louise, get up here. And then Louise was very gracious and without any planning or coordination at all. She came up.
So you can see the unplanned, their version of the Comic Slam. And everybody had a lot of fun with the Comic Slam and with the one-on-one with Joe. So you can see it again on our YouTube page, Geek Speak Videos. Just look for, put in the Geek Speak Show. It'll show up there. The second episode is coming up in a couple of weeks. Saturday, July 7th, going to be at Lee's Comics in Mountain View. They're celebrating 30 years of comic books. Very good comic book. Lee's a very good guy. Most of you have been there. He's a lot. Personality is just like Joe, a really great guy. Knows his comics. Everybody knows him that likes comics. So they're going to be doing a 30-year celebration, a big old sale, 30 cents comics, except for like Batman #1 or Amazing Fantasy 15. Like I said, let's not get crazy. You're not gonna find those for 30 cents. But every new comics, not graphic novels, but graphic novels will be slashed, I think, 30% off. Or we're going to talk to Lee in a little bit. He'll tell you all the details on that.
I get the feeling, just something tells me, it's a little spidey sense tingling, but the number 30 is going to be involved with a lot of their promotions that day, isn't it?
No, 2 numbers.
What? 2 numbers?
3 and 0.
That's 30.
Oh, yeah. I told you I was never good at math.
Nerd.
Another thing is Mightyville.com. We met them, you and Rachel and I, you didn't get to go that day because a bridge was blocked.
Yeah, there was transit failure.
Issues.
So many levels.
Yeah, and I had nothing to do with it this time. Those of you
Henry
who know
did
me know what
not
I'm
set
talking
the
about.
building on fire. He was nowhere near there. I swear. He has an alibi, right? You were with him the whole night.
That's right.
That's right.
Yes, we were. A lot of fun. Mightyville.com will be launching officially on July 4th with the fireworks, the barbecue, all that stuff. Mightyville.com is on our links page, but it's also on our front page. You can sign up for the newsletter right now. We got it, when was it? Last month or 3 weeks, whatever it was. It's been a long week. It felt like years. So it's on there. It's going to be a very special place for you comic book lovers. And I'm going to stop trying to tell you all about it because we do have the 2 people in charge of Mightyville.com on the line with us.
We have experts.
Yes. Sommer K and Joe Kach. Hey guys, welcome to the Geek Speak Show.
Hey Henry. Hey Rachel and Arielle. How you doing?
Hey everybody.
Hello, we're doing great.
Yeah, so I'm gonna stop trying to explain what Mightyville is and let you guys do that. Go ahead, tell everybody what is Mightyville.com.
Mightyville.com. It's our new site, and we're very excited to be launching in about a week on July 4th. It's a website for all you comics fans and comics nerds out there. We are going to do some of the things that you'll see on some of the other sites. We're going to have breaking news in the comics industry. We're going to have interviews, reviews, and commentary. But we're also trying to do some things that are a little different than some of the sites you see out there. So we want to have more variety, more focus on what the fans are up to, what they're interested in, and make it more interactive and more fun, and really try to build the site towards being a community for fans.
Something we don't see a lot of, really. We're trying to make it more of a place to interact rather than just people kind of showing up, checking something out, and going about their day.
And by interaction, do you mean there's going to be obviously you're going to have forums? Most comic book websites have that, but what else is going to make it stand apart from the other websites, the comic book websites that are out there?
Well, we've got a lot of. We try to do a lot of different aspects that we're not seeing a lot of other places. So we're trying to showcase smaller talent. Possibly local talent. We've got sections like cool images that kind of highlight what other artists are doing out there, maybe things you're not seeing very often. And we're trying to get people engaged in discussing these new items that we're presenting. We're also going to be spending a lot of time outdoors with the fans, doing different things out there, interacting with people. For example, we've got the Amazing Spider-Man premiere coming up next week.
Yes, we do.
Yes, so we're very excited, of course.
In 3D.
In 3D, that's right.
In 3D,
we are
in
going
IMAX.
in 3D and IMAX.
But we're going to not just go see the movie and talk about it ourselves, but we want to go and talk to the fans who are in line waiting to see the movie and catch them on the way out and see what they thought of the movie. So we don't want it to just be our voices on the site. We want to make sure that we give other people the opportunity to speak and share their ideas about what's going on in comics.
So do you guys have a favorite part of the site that when you were building it or putting it together, you were like, I have to have this. This is going to be the best thing about it?
Yeah, honestly, I felt that a few times as we were putting it together. I really like our cool images section. That kind of just popped up out of let's just throw some of the coolest images we see out there that people don't see a lot of. That was a lot of fun to build. Did you have a favorite part, Summer?
I like we have a full calendar of events, so we keep people in the know about what's going on for conventions across the country, what's going on with movies coming out. I think you mentioned we're going to be throwing our own events, so we had Nerds Night Out, our first one, and you can learn about that on the site, but we'll be having more of those in the future. And we also have a section of hot links to what's going on in the online for comics, and so people can go to our page and immediately link to all kinds of other sites too, where they can find out much more of what's going on. So you can go to our site and learn, but you can go to a number of other sites through our page. And another of my favorite sections, of course, is that we're featuring the Geek Speak show on our site too.
Woot woot.
Yeah,
I hear those guys are amazing.
they are.
Yeah, they're pretty cool.
And not in 3D.
It's a little bit in 3D, and I'm a big tech nerd also. So as we were putting together that section, which I think you guys are going to be pretty impressed with, just the little parts where I was like, ooh, look how this video can pop up over here, and look how this video can say this over here.
But wait, do we need the glasses?
You don't need the glasses yet, but hey, 3D or 4D is coming up down the road.
Beat that, James Cameron.
You could try it out with the glasses, though. That might be interesting.
Because, I love having weird focusing issues when I'm looking at a glowing screen. That's the best feeling ever.
Headaches after films are the best.
Really, I don't feel like I've gotten a full experience and really an immersive experience if I'm not walking out with a blinding headache.
Exactly. Another favorite part for me was actually being able to go to a lot of the local conventions, in order to generate some of the content that we're going to feature on our site and meeting a lot of the fans and the creators out there. That was probably one of my favorite bits of putting it all together.
Yeah, I've been loving interviewing some of our favorite creators, and we we'll also have Lee from Lee Comics on there a few times as well, and it's just really fun to be able to chit chat with people and geek out over comics, and then share that with the people that come to our site.
We've got a great interview with Tone Rodriguez, who is the artist on a lot of the Simpsons comics you guys are reading, from Bongo, Futurama, Shadowhawk, and Lady Robotica. He's a really great artist, great guy, a lot of fun to talk to. We got actually a live video of him drawing a really great Rocketeer sketch. Mm-hmm. And surrounding that, we're giving away a few signed prints by him to new members. The prints, I believe, were which ones, Summer?
Oh, Dexter, and for the Cowboy Bebop fans out there as well.
Yes.
Yeah, he's a really cool artist. He also shared with us, he's worked with a lot of celebrities on their comics, so Jane Weedlin and Tyrese Gibson, and kind of gave us the down low of what experience that was like. He's a very cool, honest guy, so it was fun to talk to him.
Fun antics, for sure.
Sounds like a fantastic interview to check out on the site. And it sounds like there are a lot of reasons for us to go and visit the site as people who are interested in comics. What I want to know is, what if I'm creating an independent comic, or I'm an independent artist? What can I do to get your guys' attention to get my stuff on your site?
Well,
smoke signals.
Yeah. Like, do you take bribes in chocolate, or do you prefer pizza?
Pizza.
Chocolate.
Oh.
Chocolate pizza.
Chocolate pizza.
My bribes are action figures, just throwing it out there.
I was just about to say action figures.
Sadly, I can be bribed with cheese. Just really good cheese.
Free.
I love cheese too.
Packer fan, huh?
No, none of that was California cheese or nothing. It's California cheese or go home.
You got to go to Wisconsin sometime.
I haven't been? What? No, California cheese. But we're not going to get into that fight right here, because I still want to find out how to artists and things can get your attention over at Geekville. Mightyville. It's over at Mightyville.
There's a few ways, actually. We're always going to be asking for input on the site, and so we'll have emails that address on the site, and you can just link directly to our email through the site. Also, down the line, we're going to have a whole community section where people can have their own pages and post their own things on their profile page. So it's going to be a great way for people to link to their stuff, post their stuff on our site for everybody to be able to see. But even now, before the site's even launched, we've had some people hit us up on Twitter, so they can go to @Mightyville and tweet to us, and we've retweeted their requests and found some cool artists out there that are working on some cool stuff that we'll be sharing.
Yeah, I'll put this out there right now. If you are an up-and-coming creator trying to get yourself noticed or looking for work, just shoot us an email, which is contact@mightyville.com, and we will see what we can do about getting you featured pretty soon.
This sounds like an awesome hub. It's got everybody's involvement. We're looking for artists. We're looking for people who just want to hear what's going on. And honestly, I think one of the coolest part is those events that you're putting together, because I was a part of the Nerds Night Out, the first one. Yes, I can claim that. And
yes.
We had a great time. Thank you for
we did. Well, and it's kind of nice because people are going to be able to look up those events and have somewhere to go to hang out, and it's not weird. It's not like where, it's a mixer, or it's not like a work event. You know what I mean? I'm a geek. I understand. I've accepted this. I love it, and let's find some cool stuff to do with other geeks in my area, and I really think it's a great idea.
Thank you.
Thank you. That's exactly what we were hoping for.
Yeah, and like the first one, we hosted and we kept it to our local area, but going down the line, we want to put the word out for people all across the country to host their events and feature it on the site. So it should be a good opportunity for people to meet other like-minded folks in their own area and have fun.
That's
Thanks
really...
for that. thanks for that event, I just bought myself a new set of Ninja Turtles figures. So
Yes, I have been wanting to get myself an NES again because, I need to play that game more often.
Turns out there's emulators.
Yes.
Have you tried getting it for your Wii? Do they have it on there? Because like I'm playing Bubble Bobble, like you wouldn't believe. On that
See,
thing.
I have an emulator and I do have some of the old Marios, but it's not the same. I need the old controller. I want the cartridge.
Do you need the like?
Yes.
WASD just isn't quite the same.
I'm surprised how many memories came flooding back from replaying those games. So much fun.
Yeah, we're talking to Sommer K Joe Kach, founders of Mightyville.com. Again, it's launching officially July 4th, so in between barbecues, fireworks, whatever you do on 4th of July, check out Mightyville.com. Now, like we were just talking right now, you guys really are geeks. You know comics, you know this stuff. What made you guys want to create Mightyville?
Honestly, it's a deep-seated love for comics. I cannot remember a time in my life where I haven't been into them. I've always dabbled in trying to create my own, and that's still an ongoing process. But I really just wanted to be involved more in the fan community because the industry and the fan base has changed a lot over the last couple of decades. I don't want it to stay stagnant. I think evolving is always great. Mm-hmm. So I want to be part of that change. I wanted to help, propagate changes to bring more attention to the medium, whether it's digital, whether it's print, whether it's on TV, whether it's in the movie screens. I just kind of want to be part of that movement, and that's what brought me to it.
And that's what's really making, to me, like that's what's making geek culture right now so freaking amazing and so exciting to be in, is because the line between fan and creator is so blurring. Fans are getting into something enough that they're like, oh wait, look, how easy would it be for me to like make my own thing because I got really excited about this. On the flip side, creators have such contact with their fans that they can really read what's going on in the energy. They can hear what's working, what's not. They can make adjustments or ignore fans and just give them what they need, even if it's not what they want. But they still have that touch line, and they can still have that interaction. And with things like Twitter and with places now like Mightyville is going to be, there's all of this connection in the community, and it makes it just resonate.
Yeah, that was one of the other reasons why we wanted to build the site, is that there hasn't been a lot of platforms or space online for that community to connect with each other. Twitter is really great, and people have been doing a great job with blogs and posting their web comics, and that's all expanding. But as far as ways to sort of interact online, a lot of it's just been done through message boards, and that's a very kind of awkward way, I think, to communicate.
Yeah.
So
I agree, yeah.
So we want to give people more opportunity, as we are, initially our website will just be, you can communicate through comments and we'll be featuring people, but then we're building a whole social aspect that will allow people to chat live and to interact in a much more variety of ways.
Yeah, we want to give people a little taste of the content, dip their feet in the water, and then, in the next few months, we're going to be launching a second aspect to Mightyville.com, which will be the social Mighty community.
Yeah.
Oh, that's going to be so great. And now, one of the things that you touched on is that places like message boards are really the only place that people have right now to interact, and Twitter and things like that. And it always feels to me like those sorts of things are really narrow in focus, so that I'm a brown coat, I'm going to go to my brown coat message boards, and while we might also all be Game of Thrones fans and totally be into Doctor Who, it's a brown coat message board first. And it does feel to me like it's harder for me to find somewhere where if I've got a really broad spectrum of interests and I just want to talk to people who like good storytelling that also involves ray guns, that it's hard for me to pinpoint. And it sounds like you guys are creating exactly that space.
Exactly what we need.
Just that thing to bring us all together. And because if I'm a fan of Doctor Who, I can also be a fan of Wait, no, that makes sense. I could also be a fan of anything else. Like, I can also like comic books and things like that. And that I can go out and I can connect with other people who feel the same way.
You know, that's really true, because even on larger social networks like Facebook or whatever, even if you're friends with some of your favorite creators and other fellow fans, it always gets lost in the jumble of people's mundane tasks throughout their day, or pictures of their children doing whatever.
Well,
So-
and you have to like pay to get your stuff out there as well with that lovely new Facebook model. Arg, Facebook.
Right.
So
yeah,
you
nothing
guys
new.
are going to have something different, huh?
Definitely.
That's the plan, at least. So again, Mightyville.com launching officially July 4th. So between the barbecues, everything that you do.
Wait, I thought the barbecues and fireworks were for this launch. Henry, you lied to me. You
That's what
told
That's what we
me.
thought too.
I didn't lie. I exaggerated.
You've been living a lie.
What? No, I feel so betrayed. No.
We don't want that, because that reminds me too much of the Blu-ray special edition. So again, it's Mightyville.com launching July 4th. And go on there. It's up on our link section. It's on our front page right there, front and center for you. Just click on it, sign up for the newsletter. Sommer, Joe, we wish you guys the best of luck. We are very proud to have you guys as part of our content providers, all that stuff. You're going to hear, all of you out there, you're going to hear from them a lot. They're going to be on here. You'll see them in some of our videos. You're going to be, I think, at our next video shoot that we do with Lee's, who we're going to talk to in just a few minutes.
Yep.
So we'll definitely hear from you guys a lot. And again, wish you nothing but the best with Mightyville.
Thank you
Thanks-
so much.
thanks a
We
lot,
love
Henry.
this Geek Speak show.
And we love you too. So thanks a lot, and we will talk to you later.
Hey, this is Todd McFarlane, creator of Spawn, and one of the original founders of Image Comics, and you're listening to Geek Speak Show. Thanks for coming.
Let's stay a while. Why don't you? We're back on the Geek Speak Show. So let's talk about our video show, episode 2, Attack of the Arielle.
Yeah, no, wait, that's way too predictive. Look, we're trying to get me to not hit people. It's an important life skill.
That's
Yeah, no,
the
that's
Arielle sound.
right
Yeah,
there.
so it's going to be happening in a couple of weeks. Saturday, July 7th at Lee's Comics in Mountain View. They're celebrating their 30-year anniversary, and on to start that celebration early is Lee. Hey, Lee, welcome to the Geek Speak Show.
Hello there, Henry, Rachel, and Arielle. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Very good. Great.
Yeah, getting all excited for the sale. So tell us what is going to happen at Lee's in Mountain View and San Mateo.
Okay, well, we're celebrating our 30th anniversary in business. We started in July 1982. So we have a bunch of big, huge blowouts we're going to be throwing on Saturday, July 7th. And first of all, it's going to be 30% off of all back issues. We're going to have tons of 30-cent comics, 20% off new comics and graphic novels. And we have a whole bunch of prizes that we're going to give to people that show up early, such as a Lee's Comics Frisbee.
Frisbees!
And yes, Frisbee. I love playing Frisbee, so I thought it'd be cool to have it, spinning around with the Lee's Comics logo on it.
Can we like play Frisbee in
And,
the parking lot after we go shopping in the store?
I was thinking about that, like if we had a contest, we'd like throw a Frisbee out there. And then I realized it's the Costco parking lot also, and we might actually kill some of our customers, our listeners. So that might not be a really good idea.
I hear that's bad business practice. In fact, like that's business class 101.
No.
Don't kill your customers. Unless you're in the mortuary business, I suppose.
And there's more business.
If we have time, we could go out. We could go out back if it's not too busy, because we have like our own parking lot in back, and there's there'd be plenty of room to play Frisbee back there.
And then there can be hijinks. I'm a big fan of hijinks.
One question I do have.
That's the only.
No, one question I have for you, Lee,
go ahead,
is
Henry.
the 30 cents comics. What comics are going to be 30 cents exactly?
Okay, well, we have a selection of bargain material, and it dates all the way back to the 70s. It'll be like a lower grade stuff, but still fun to read. Mainstream titles: Captain America, Spider-Man, X-Men, GI Joe, stuff like that. We're going to be putting a whole bunch of stuff out there. Stuff you won't believe will be just 30 cents, and that's going to be extremely popular. A lot of people are going to be pouring through that, filling in the gaps in their want list.
But like I've been saying, not Amazing Fantasy number 15, right?
No, that would be more than 30 cents.
That would be a lot of 30 cents.
Yeah, that would be a good gimmick, though. Throw it in there and see if they can find it. You know, I like that idea.
They have to know what it is.
Henry will be knocking them all out of the way.
Actually, Henry will probably just like set us up with tasers and be like, create a perimeter, because I'm going to go through this. Oh, hey, look, it's my noise. Create a perimeter, because we got to fight them all off. It's my job to find that issue. It'd be fun.
Well, that even looking for regular 30-cent bargain books, you know, it can be, you know, you have to be pretty dedicated because there's going to be a lot of people looking.
Well, and I'm looking forward to maybe discovering some new artists or a new writer on a series that I like, but I never really explored. And I can be like, oh, you know what? This looks interesting. It's 30 cents. What have I got to lose? So that's going to be really great.
For $1, including tax.
Yeah.
For $1. I mean, you can't afford not to buy them.
You can't beat it with a stick.
Yeah, so again, this is going to happen Saturday, July 7th, starting at 10 a.m., you said, Lee?
Correct. And I wanted to mention also at 11, we're going to have a drawing for 10 $30 Lee's Comics gift certificates at both stores. So, you know, if you come early, you can also enter the drawing and hang out till at least 11. And then, of course, after that, we're going to be doing, over here in Mountain View, we're going to be doing the video show with you guys, which is very exciting.
Yes, we're going to do kind of like what we did with the pilot episode at Flying Colors. You and I are going to do a one-on-one talk about the store, your history, the comic book industry, and we're going to get the audience involved also. You guys can ask Lee anything you wanted to know about comics, about Lee, about... Now, when I say about Lee, doesn't mean ask him his social security number or anything. You don't ask him that. You can ask him, you know, like what's his favorite comic, you know, how does he see the business today, things like that.
My social security number is 1.
You're just that established.
You're just missing a few numbers.
Yeah.
I've been around a while.
So you've got a lot of knowledge that this is the opportunity for your customers to just really pick your brain and find out what is it that makes it tick? What is it that makes Lee's Comics such an amazing store? And also for them to ask for special favors.
Yeah, well, you know, that's one of the fun things about these events is we just hang out and we schmooze and we joke around, and it's a lot of fun. It's just a tremendous amount of fun, and people just come and they get in on the excitement. So, yeah, I really enjoy interacting with all the folks, and I have tremendous fun at these events.
And these kinds of things are what allow people to go to shops or places that they don't normally go to, and then all of a sudden, you know, they find that diamond in the rough, or they find their new favorite place to go. So definitely something people want to be a part of.
Absolutely. If you haven't been to Lee's Comics, it's a place to check out. This is a reason to go and see it if you've never been before.
Yes, we try to give them a reason to go, and we're hoping that if they check it out, they'll like what they see, and they'll visit us again.
Yeah, become regular Wednesday and every other day shopper too.
Come in on Saturdays, come in on Wednesdays, come in until they, you know, just ask you to watch the counter while they go grab a coffee from down the street.
That may happen.
Yeah, like voting, buy often.
Buy early, buy often.
And we've been known to deputize a customer or two in the past.
Yes, again, that's going to be happening Saturday, July 7th, starting at 10 o'clock. At both stores are going to start at 10, Lee?
That's correct.
Yeah, all the action is going to be happening with us, at least with the video show, at the Mountain View location. So be there. We're going to get there early also and watch you guys have fun with the 30 cents comics and the $30 gift certificates, all that stuff. Then we'll point the cameras on Lee and on all of you guys. You guys can be a part of that. We're also bringing, thanks to Joe Field, who created the Comic Slam from Flying Colors Comics. They had a lot of fun with that, so we're going to bring it to Lee's Comics also. And what the Comic Slam is actually, you explain it since you and Louise took part in that.
The Comic Slam is where you take a scene from one of your favorite comics or one of your favorite characters, and they've got their soliloquy, they've got their big long speech, and you dramatically act it out. So it's not just like sitting there and reading it, but you can bring props, or you can bring something that really like heightens the mood, and then you're going to act out that scene from the comic book. I think the duets worked really well, she says, if she says say so herself. But that you can also bring somebody along, and then you can have like, you know, some little back and forth banter, but bring your favorite bit, bring your favorite scene, come out, and then read it for the audience and get your drama on.
If you want to dress up,
then... please dress up. I love costumes.
Yes,
that
we would like to see.
Why I was up till 3 a.m. last night was making a new costume. So come in costume. It'll be great.
And we also got to say, keep it family friendly.
Yeah, some of us need that reminder more than once.
Yeah, so that'll be happening, the Comic Slam. You guys have a lot of fun with that. And again, thanks to Joe Field for letting us bring it to Lee's Comics.
Yeah, so I would encourage people to pick out their favorite comics, start going over it, rehearsing it, and and bring it. That way you can immortalize yourself on film. Dare to be silly. This is no time for dignity. You got to get out there and give it your all, and and dare to be fanish. Have some fun. Don't be shy.
It's the age of the nerd. Bring it, yo.
There may be something special in it for you.
Oh, I think Henry's just hinting. That's dangerous.
Well, we're going to contribute some great prizes to people that participate in this as well. And we got a whole store full of cool stuff, so it's not difficult to come up with some nice prizes. And definitely looking forward to seeing the results of the Comic Slam.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you guys want to see what that is, what that looks like, go on our YouTube page. It's up there, the one we did with Joe and Flying Colors and the Flying Colors Faithful for our pilot episode. They're all up there. And Lee, I was going to ask you a little bit about the store, but I'm gonna put that on pause until a couple of weeks from now when we actually do it for the one-on-one, so you guys get to not only hear but see Lee and myself talk about his history, the story history, comics, his adventures. He's met some of the big names and had them there in the store. So you'll hear all of that, and you guys can get involved also. Again, Saturday, July 7th, starting at 10 a.m. All this will happen in the Mountain View store, but it's happening. The 30-year sale is happening at both San Mateo and in Mountain View. So be there for that. So Lee, thanks for coming on, and we will see you in a couple of weeks.
Hey, thank you so much, Henry, Rachel, and Arielle.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It's time for the Geek Speak Show Book Club. Our books or graphic novels. Tell us what your favorites are. Books at thegeekspeakshow.com.
So my pick for the book club this week is called Why Does Batman Carry Shark Repellant? And other amazing comic book trivia. It's a book written by Brian Cronin. You can find Brian Cronin's blog, Comics Should Be Good. Find it at cbr.com, comic book resources. We all go there on a regular basis. Okay, on an hourly basis. Very good information found at Comic Book Resources. Like I said, you can find Brian Cronin's blog, Comics Should Be Good, right on there. You can find him right now here on the Geek Speak Show. Brian, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for coming on. Got your new book. It's out in stores now and online, I'm assuming. It's called Why Does Batman Carry Shark Repellant? Tell us about it.
Well, it's basically, as you've been seeing from the Comics Should Be Good blog, I've been doing that for it's roughly almost 8 years now. And over the years, we've collected plenty of little interesting information about comic books. And Why Does Batman Carry Shark Repellant is basically a collection of all those little interesting things we learned about comic books. Stuff like weird things Batman happened to carry in his utility belt, bands named after comic book characters, situations like that.
It is a book of lists, but the lists aren't just stuff that's thrown out there. It's actually, you could also almost call it a comic book history book, right?
I would say there's a lot of comic history in there. It's basically, as I say, it's things that I've come across over the years and new. Actually, I would say about 80% of the book is brand new material for anyone who's read the blog before.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the greatest things about it also was that a good chunk of great comic book creators, writers, and artists also contributed great guest lists. Dave Gibbons did a great list about Silver Age covers. Mark Waid did a great list about strange celebrities that have gotten their own comic books over the years, like New Kids on the Block.
Besides all the stuff that obviously you know, because writing the blog, obviously you have an encyclopedic knowledge of comic books. But what kind of research went into this book?
I would say a goodly amount. What happens is we went down with my editor, and we actually, it's amazing, from the original lists we put together for this book, we probably cut about half the lists. That's how much writing went into this, because we wanted to have the perfect amount of lists for the final book. So I was writing I spent about, it must have been about 2-3 months just researching and writing all these lists.
And like you mentioned, this is not just you. There are also contributions from artists, from writers, and it doesn't cover just comic books. It also covers ads in comic books from the 90s, and there were some weird ones back then. I mean, everybody listening admitted you remember some of those. Those are all in there. We don't like doing spoilers on the show here, and we don't want to give too much away. We do want them to go out and get it. But tell us a little bit of some of the lists we can find in the book.
Sure. As you mentioned, the weird comic book ads, I did one for the 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, right until today. One of the interesting ones, as you mentioned, for the 90s was the Super Mario Brothers shampoo. Because as you know, everyone wants to smell like a plumber.
Right.
For the movies, that's right, there's a whole section for movies, like Easter eggs in movies. One of the funny ones was 5 oddest sex scenes in comic book movies.
Yeah, and I had when I was reading it, I kind of knew that the Watchmen had to be in there, and sure enough, it's right there.
Another good one was I think one of the funniest ones was about celebrities who guest starred in comics without their permission. Especially one of the interesting ones about Ira Glass appearing in the Linda Berry comic book. That was an interesting one about the quote-unquote bad boyfriend.
Another one that's in there that I like also is I didn't know this, me being a big Alan Moore fan, is he actually wrote a BJ and the Bear comic book.
Yes, BJ and the Bear. He also, one of his comics that he did for the BJ and the Bear appeared in a Dukes of Hazzard comic as well.
Yeah, that's something I didn't know about Alan Moore.
Yes, he had some early stories before he became big, that he was pretty much like anyone. He was writing whatever they would give him. So, and what they were signing him was BJ and the Bear.
Yeah, I guess you got to get work wherever it comes, right?
Exactly.
So we're talking to Brian Cronin. He just wrote a new book called Why Does Batman Carry Shark Repellant? It's talking about his utility belt, because you got to admit now his utility belt is a lot like MacGyver, although MacGyver built stuff on his own, but it just so happens that whatever he needs, it's always in that utility belt.
Exactly. Some of the ones on the list, I have 10 crazy items, and some of them are just bizarre. Like, for instance, Batman has a marble that he carries in his utility belt because, according to Batman, and if Batman says it, it must be true, if you put this under your arm, it could stop your pulse, so you'll seem dead to people. Hey, Batman said it, so who are we to dispute it?
So it must be true, exactly. And like I said, it's not just comic books. You also include comic book movies, because as you mentioned in the book, they are big business now. Correct me if I'm wrong. I haven't done the research on this. You probably know more than I do. The list that you have on there has The Dark Knight as the biggest grossing movie. Has that been overtaken by the Avengers now?
It has been overtaken by the Avengers. And what's funny, by the end of next month, it might be overtaken by Dark Knight Rises.
Yeah. How do you think Spider-Man will do, the new one?
It's interesting because between those two movies, when you're after the Avengers and you're before Dark Knight Rises, it's very easy to get caught up in the middle and not and be overlooked a bit.
Yeah. I mean,
so it's not exactly the best timing-wise for Spider-Man.
Yeah, and I've said this many times on this show when the project was first announced. I'm a huge comic book fan, but even bigger Spider-Man fan. The comics, the movies, everything. I did like the Sam Raimi, even a little bit of 3. I know a lot of people didn't like that one, but I got some enjoyment out of it. Not a lot, but a little bit. When this one was announced, I wasn't too excited about it. Once we start getting more teasers and trailers and stuff, the story's straying a little bit from the Spider-Man story that we know. So I kind of wanted to succeed just because it's Spider-Man, but I don't know. But it's not. It doesn't feel like Spider-Man to me.
What's interesting right now on Comics Should Be Good, we're doing a countdown of the 50 greatest Spider-Man stories as voted on by our readers, which is good. We have 4 polls: 50 greatest Spider-Man covers, 50 greatest Spider-Man characters, 50 greatest Spider-Man creators, all leading up to the Spider-Man movie. And yesterday, one of the stories was Ultimate Venom. It was a storyline for the Ultimate Spider-Man comic book.
Right. And
rereading that while I was writing about it for the countdown, it's amazing how much of that seems like it's going to be in the new Spider-Man movie. Because in that, they reveal changes of Spider-Man's origins, which was that his parents were scientists, that there was something to do with Peter before he was Spider-Man, that seems like the new movie. That's what we're going to get the reveal of. So if anyone wants to see a glimpse of what the film likely is going to change about Spider-Man's origin, you should pick up Ultimate Spider-Man Venom.
All movies do, like the Avengers, for example, as big as that one was. That borrowed also from the Ultimate line. The Chitauri, in fact, are the Ultimate version of the Skrull, if you will.
Correct.
But with this one, the Spider-Man, it seems to be borrowing a little bit from Ultimate, from Classic, from the cartoons, from all kinds of stuff. The one good thing is at least we finally get to see the Lizard. We were teased by Sam Raimi all the time, but now we finally get to see him on screen. Yeah, and again, it's Brian.
That is funny. That's got to be weird for that actor to play the character in those movies and never actually get to be the Lizard.
Right.
And now some other actor gets to get him.
Yeah, so like I was saying, it's Brian Cronin. He just wrote the new book, Why Does Batman Carry Shark Repellant in Stores? You get it online. You can go to our book club section. There's a link on there. You can learn more about it and order it for yourself. And Brian, let's go back a little bit and talk about you now. When did your interest in comic books start?
I'm not, presumably, as like most, I was a kid when it first started. And I guess, unlike most, it continued into adulthood. Although I get more and more nowadays, right?
Yeah, no, I was gonna say, see, like me, I started also when I was younger, but there was I would say before the '90s. I would say around junior, senior year of high school, I kind of went away a little bit. Around the time when the Ultimate Universe was introduced is when I went away a little, and then I started coming back. You stayed with comics the whole time?
Yeah, pretty much. I guess, yeah.
From the way you see it, have the stories gotten better or not so good, or how do you see comics from 20 years ago to now?
I would say in a lot of ways it's similar in the sense that majority of anything there's going to be plenty of not so good comic books, and there's going to be some standout comic books. And I think the percentages are more or less the same now. I guess in the early 90s, the percentages probably were a little bit worse because only because they were making so many comic books. Marvel and DC were each putting out like 100 comic books a month, and when at that level of production, you just can't keep the quality up.
And now, what should I mean, they're doing okay, but what should they do, say 5, 6, 10 years from now to keep up with the iPads, the smartphones, all the entertainment that's available literally at your fingertips besides the digital comics? How can they keep readers from not leaving them for iPads and all that stuff?
Well, as you mentioned, I mean, for iPads, the digital comics, I presume, is their answer to the iPad situation. Is because if you want an iPad, here, comic books are right on it. But otherwise, what comic books have going for them is the same thing they've always had going for them. Is if you make the story interesting enough, if you make the art appealing, people are going to want to go find it. People were writing about the death of comics in the 1970s. You should read. It's amazing sometimes when you read, say, early Comics Journal articles. All the letters were writing in about, well, this is about it. We'll see. This is about. We have about 5 years left, maybe. And now, 30-odd years later, they're still going. So the death of comics has been written about many times, and it never actually seems to come about.
I hope it never does. Honestly, I mean, I can say, having done radio pretty much all my life, people started talking about the death of radio and TV for a while, but honestly, I can see it happening now, only because of the availability, like I said, of Wi-Fi and the 4G networks and all that stuff, and YouTube videos or any kind of videos, anything. You don't need radio or the instantaneous of Twitter and all that stuff. You don't need 24-hour news stations anymore. So I can see that. Going to comics though, what I do like is, and you've probably seen it, is how Marvel does the AR thing in their comic books.
Right.
Yeah, that is really, really cool. So that's one way where they can keep the kids who are all into technology. That's one way they can keep them interested.
Yeah, Marvel has been very aggressive in that regard. Heck, just recently I just noticed I didn't really see much of a big push on this, but very casually the last month or so, every $4 Marvel comic book now comes with a free digital copy of the issue.
Yeah, I've noticed that. Yeah, and you're right. They haven't made a big thing about it. It's just there.
It's just out of nowhere. Just one issue, nothing. Then the next issue, free digital copy.
Which I guess is a good thing, because, I mean, a lot of people, like you just mentioned, a lot of people were thinking that the digital comics were going to overtake we're going to close down comic book stores, and it's not happening. I mean, the reason why they're free is because they're selling the books pretty good.
Correct, right. That they're working off the back of the fact that the print is doing well. Well, doing better than it was a year ago.
Yeah.
Of course, it's the level of doing well has changed. What was doing well 5 years ago is not necessarily the same as doing well today.
Brian's new book is called Why Does Batman Carry Shark Repellent and Other Amazing Comic Book Trivia. It's not just Brian. It has Mark Millar, Dave Gibbons is in here, Jeff Johns, and you mentioned a whole bunch of artists and writers that contributed to the book. So it's in bookstores, it's online. It's again, go to our link section, not link section, but the book club section. It's on there. You can learn more about it. You can order your copy. Definitely a conversation starter. Maybe argument starter too, but definitely a conversation starter. So Brian, thanks a lot for coming on. Love the book. Looking forward to whatever you do next.
Thanks a lot.
And let's remind people also, they can also read you. Comics Should Be Good, your blog on cbr.com, comic book resources. When do you update that?
It's every day.
Every day. Okay, so there you go. Every day.
Every day, great new content for you folks.
Yeah, so there you go. Brian Cronin, thanks a lot. You're welcome back anytime.
Excellent. Thank you.
Hi. This is the point where you two jump in with your books.
Yes. Well, I will start off. And my book this week, actually, so this is what happened. I went to the bookstore, I was getting a coffee, walking around, and I found this awesome book on top of all the graphic novels, and it was called A Practical Guide to Dragons. And I was like, oh, I like dragons. I want to look at this. Open it up, and this book is amazing. So I'm going to recommend it to you. Author Lisa Trumbauer, and it's about Sindri Suncatcher, which is the character, who is the self-proclaimed greatest Kender wizard in the world. And basically sends this book to his grandma and wants them to know about dragons. So goes through, explains everything you ever wanted to know about them, draws pictures, has little graphs, categorizes them. Any artist that wants reference for dragons, anybody that is just in love with them in general, like me, definitely want to get this book. It's the coolest thing. You can read it 100 times, look at all the pictures, and there's always something new you're going to notice. So definitely pick up A Practical Guide to Dragons.
That's fantastic. I love it.
I know.
I'm going to check it out because I love dragons too.
See, I knew it.
Yep. All right. So this week I went ahead and I put a call out to my friends because they collectively read a lot more than I can. So one of them suggested that I start recommending books as gateway sci-fi books for young readers. And I thought that was a fantastic idea.
Yeah.
So I know for me, I started with Piers Anthony, just like the Xanth series. Absolutely captured my imagination. I loved the dumb puns. I loved the little world that was being built. I loved just that it was silly and light and it wasn't too serious and I could just read them in one big gulp, like
right.
in one sitting. So those were so great. My friends also went ahead and suggested a few of their favorite entry books as well. And John Phillips recommended the Tripod series by John Christopher as one of his old favorites. And Elizabeth Schultz, who is actually currently raising a very darling young boy she is molding into this very wonderful geeky boy.
I thought you were going to say a dragon for a while.
I know, right? No, well, I don't, get him in the right costume. Moving on. She said that her son Logan is reading Dune and is just loving it. And I wouldn't have thought of that as an entry gateway book. But
how old is he?
Don't put me on the spot like that. He's old enough to be
read.
reading Dune and enjoying it.
No, because if you said that he's 4 or 5, I would have said,
no.
That's amazing.
Can I say still in elementary school? Yeah,
still amazing.
That's totally what I'm going to say. But he's really enjoying Dune, and he loves it. And so, if that's the sort of thing where you know that your kid's ready for it and you want to hand over Dune, there really isn't a better, more substantial start to a sci-fi education than Dune, if you ask me. So there you go. There are some book recommendations for you all and for you young readers.
And if you want to send them, you can go to Arielle's Facebook, or you can send it to us, books@thegeekspeakshow.com.
Yeah.
That's the Geek Speak Show Book Club. Tell us what your favorite books or graphic novels are. Books@thegeekspeakshow.com.
Hey, that's it. Short and sweet. We're done.
That's it?
Okay, bye.
Oh, wait, no, but there's so much more to talk about.
Like?
Okay, so I'm gearing up and getting ready for Comic-Con, and I'm super excited
What's Comic-Con? Never heard of that.
It's this,
Okay.
Okay, you know what? Let's just not pretend to insult our audience's intelligence that way. Comic-Con in San Diego is coming up. It is, in fact, the worldwide biggest comic book convention with sci-fi and pop culture and everything else thrown in there. And they're going to have a 10th anniversary Firefly panel with, like, all the cast and Joss and probably special guests. And I can hardly breathe. And it's going to be amazing. And people are going to be camping out. And it's so I'm really excited for that. And I think other people should be excited. And I'll be tweeting from my AKA Geek Girl account while I'm down there. I'm going to be doing some Comic-Con coverage while I'm down there. I'm going to be trying to represent the Geek Speak Show in my small little infinitesimal small way. But wait, what?
There's more.
See, we weren't done.
Why are you there?
I am there because I am part of the California Browncoats, and we are going to have a table set up, A7, A8, the traditional spot, where we can always be found in the back corner next to the pretzel stand. That's an important note.
Convenient.
You get food and your Browncoat goodness on. We're going to have special limited edition items that you can only get from us. We've got pint glasses. Oh my God.
They come in pints?
They come in pints.
I've seen them, and they're amazing. So
they've got a custom graphic on it that we had created for just the 10th anniversary of Firefly, and we only made 500 of them. And look, I'm so excited.
It's your noise
I'm making
again.
the microphone hitting noise. But we only made 500, so you want to get down there to our table early and get it. We're also going to have some other exclusive merchandise. You guys have probably already heard about the challenge coins that we created. Plus, it is your one-stop shop for all Browncoat goodness. And so
Plus,
and
I
you
learned
get to
this.
meet me because I'll be working the whole time.
Not only that, I learned this from when you guys did your solo show.
Yeah.
Aren't you going to have some guests there too?
We are definitely. I can't announce them yet, but we're gonna have
special guests.
We're gonna have special guests. Well, Team Unicorn said they'd be coming by and signing, so we don't have an official time yet. But keep checking our Twitter at CA Browncoats, and then also find us on Facebook. Or we
can
have
just say special guests.
Yeah, we have special guests, and it's plural, and we're working on it, and we're super excited. And the best way to find out what's happening is seriously to follow me or to follow California Browncoats on Twitter.
Or follow the map and
that's what
go to
we
the
do.
booth, see who's there.
Yeah, all the way. Walk in the door, turn right until you see a wall, and then turn left until you see a wall again. And then you're at our table, and you cannot miss us once you get that far deep into the vendor room. Oh, God, it's so big. It's
so
like 10
that is
blocks.
what's going to be happening at Comic-Con.
Yeah, it is. Come and meet me.
Here, you're going to hear from everybody. David Glanza will make his annual WonderCon. He did that already, but now the annual Comic-Con, and then coming up Ape Visit. You'll also hear from some of the people that are going to be there, including the new Lara Croft, not Angelina Jolie. You'll see when it happens in a couple of weeks. Next week, 4th of July, we're all going to take a little break, enjoy the barbecue, and Mightyville.com, and going on there visiting them. We're going to play what I'm going to call the best of show, which is just, we'll replay some of the interviews because they're timely, and then I'll replay some of the interviews from way back in season 1, some from just a couple weeks ago. Some of the reason why we call it the best is because it's one of the best interviews that we had. You'll hear from Nicholas Meyer again, not from last week, from the first time he was on. Rachel, you'll like this, talking about why 3D is not needed in movies and some other things. You'll also hear...
Because he's really right about that.
You'll also hear from Bob Gale, writer-producer of the Back to the Future, we had him on for Back to the Future Day. You'll also hear from Hit Girl, Chloe Grace Moretz, who's talking about a lot of projects that she gave me a whole list of projects, and some have happened, some are coming up still, so still relevant. You'll hear some of that and some more stuff. And then we'll be back again for the Comic-Con show. You will be, Arielle, on the floor.
On the floor.
Literally on the floor.
I will literally be there before everybody else can get in, because we get in to set up the table. So I will have a little sneak peek, little preview about what's going on in that exhibitor hall.
So if you can't be there, you can live it through Arielle.
Live through me. Okay,
where's your
awkward.
noise? There you go.
Yeah, I was going to put it in, but there you go.
There you go. I did it for you. I'm just so helpful that way.
Thanks again to Brian Cronin for coming on. That was my book club pick for this week. And also Sommer and Joe from Mightyville.com. Again, remember they're launching July 4th. And thanks to Lee from Lee's Comics. They are celebrating their 30-year anniversary sale on Saturday, July 7th at the Mountain View and San Mateo locations. And we're going to be there also at the Mountain View location to film episode 2. Yes, so be out there for all the fun. Remember, the Joe Field let us bring the Comic Slam from Flying Colors to Lee, so you guys start practicing. Like Arielle told you, you can do a duo. We've never had a group like how many Avengers?
Man,
now?
if you can pull off a full on group scene. I have absolutely no authority to say this, but I will personally give you a prize if you successfully pull off like a group scene with more than 4 people.
There it is, the challenge.
There you go. You can have a sticker.
There you go. Scratch and sniff. Scratch, sniff. It'll smell like print on paper. So one more thing before we go. No crying aloud, but Rachel's going to be leaving us, not permanently. She's going to be leaving the
show.
state.
Not the show. Just physically.
Just the state.
It turns out that she was so afraid of me hitting her while she's sitting and recording
I need
next
to put
me.
a country between us.
She's putting an entire country between us. That's how safe she feels she needs to be for me.
But don't worry, because I will still be on the show. You
That's
can still send me emails,
Yeah, we have this
comments.
thing called Skype.
Yeah, so it'll be the disembodied voice of Rachel
And
coming
eventually,
back to you.
I can be a hologram, which I'm excited about.
Oh, man. Will you wear a Princess
do
Leia
have connections
outfit the
with
first
Stark
time
Industries
that
after
you're a
all.
hologram?
I will not confirm or deny that I already own that costume.
I didn't say slave bikini. I just said
Slave Leia.
Slave Leia is the most overplayed cosplay ever.
But still a good one.
Okay, that's true. There's a reason it's overplayed.
Not overplayed if you do it right, though, because some of them don't do it right.
Have you seen the PSA?
Which one?
The Slave Leia
20
PSA about ladies. Let's talk about your cosplay options. In fact, all of you going to Comic-Con, go find Slave Leia PSA and watch it, and then decide what you're going to pack. That's
Not
all I'm
a bad
saying.
idea. Also, for the rest of the conventions and events for the rest of the year, definitely working on my costumes for those as well, so I'll let you know as we get closer.
So excited.
Yeah, because you're going to go to something that celebrates that thing you like.
Okay, let's be real. I never miss a celebration, okay?
No, why would you?
Exactly.
Yeah. No, so we're going to be just all over the place, and we're going to miss you in person, but we're going to have you here back on the show.
Yes, you will. I'm
Because
not
we
going
can't get
anywhere
rid of you.
because I can't help but speak geek.
Yeah, and like I said, she's going to be missing for a couple of the shows. We may be missing because I'm just tired. Plus, coming back from Comic-Con and all the stuff we're going to do, I'm kind of... It's hinging on whether Christopher Nolan wants to come on or not to talk about Dark Knight. If he doesn't, then there'll be really no reason to do a show, and we'll just skip the rest of July.
But if he does, I'll be on a puddle on the floor while I interview him. Hello.
And yeah, through
just
Skype, you can see me
I'll
holding
just bring
my
the
hair.
microphone down there like...
Yeah,
okay, here's
he's
your
just
question.
going to point it down. I'm just going to be like...
No, Arielle, I don't think so.
Exactly. It'll be such a phenomenal interview. So we're going to cross our fingers for that because I'd love to come back and have another show in July.
Yeah, if not, we will take the rest of July off and we'll come back in August, rebranded, refreshed,
re-energized,
and ready to, somebody say it,
Speak Geek.
Yes. See you then.
Speak more geek.
The Geek Speak Show will be back next week with a brand new episode. In the meantime, follow them on Twitter at Geek Speak Show 1. That's the number 1. Become a fan on Facebook. Subscribe on iTunes. Watch special event coverage and the Geek Speak Video Show on YouTube/Geek Speak Videos. And listen to past shows in the archive section on thegeekspeakshow.com. A big thank you to the Geek Speak Show's content providers, GeekTyrant.com, Collider.com, RamaScreen.com, and Mightyville.com. The Geek Speak Show.